Thank you for your interest. In this talk, I will show you how the scale and the mobility of Omega Constellation can be a double-edged sword for direct-to-cell satellite network security. Space is the next frontier for mobile networks. In the very near future, regular phones can directly connect to satellites to get ubiquitous services. For example, as you have seen, Starlink achieved a download speed of 17 Mbps. iPhone has already offered emergency SOS via satellite. Soon, Android phones will also enable this feature. Direct-to-cell satellites is not new. It has been there for decades using geostationary orbit satellites. While excellent for border coverage, GEO satellites are usually used by dedicated sat phones since their distant transmission is power-hungry, slow, and noisy. Dedicated sat phones have high-gain antennas, so they can alleviate this issue. However, they are not available or affordable to most consumers. LEO satellites are closer to users and have faster network speed and lower energy costs, and they can be accessed with more affordable hardware, even regular phones. However, LEO satellites have smaller coverage. So satellite companies such as Starlink and OneWeb plan to deploy hundreds of satellites to provide direct-to-cell services, aka the mega constellations. This huge scale not only provides global coverage, but also greatly increases network capacity to serve more users. So how about the security? At first glance, it seems that mega constellations are more secure than other satellites. For example, according to Elon Musk, Starlink resisted all hacking and jamming attacks. Why? The first reason is the scale. When a satellite has been attacked, for example, physical layer jamming attack, the victim can switch to another satellite to evade the attack. Deploying more attack nodes may help, but usually there are dozens of satellites over an area. More attack nodes would greatly increase the attack cost. At the same time, unlike attacking ground-based stations, each LEO satellite is a fast-moving target at about 7 km per second. The attacker needs to track the fast-moving satellite and switch attack targets every 10 seconds. This also increases attack cost. This also happens in protocol attacks. There are many protocol attacks in terrestrial mobile networks, including control plane protocol attacks and data plane protocol attacks. When these attacks is turned into space, attack nodes disguise as normal satellites to deny the service of victim by sending malicious signaling. The scope of their attack is usually one active link, one cell, or at most one logical service area. However, in mega constellation, when one service area is blocked, the victim can switch to another satellite belonging to another service area. Moreover, the high mobility of satellites makes these attacks easily detectable and fixable. The high mobility creates a significant difference between normal satellites and terrestrial attacker in radio propagation passes, Doppler shifts, and so on. Victim devices can use this radio channel feature difference to detect the attacker and blacklist it. So it seems that the extreme scale and mobility of LEO mega constellation can increase attack cost and detectability. But is it? In this work, we found that LEO mega constellation extreme scale and mobility can be a double-edged sword for its security. While beneficial to combat existing attacks, they are also exploitable for attack amplification and attack obfuscation. Let's talk about the details. In attack amplification, we utilize the space and terrestrial asymmetry. In the mega constellation, ground stations are much fewer than the satellites, and the satellites need to redirect all user signals to ground station for further processing. This leads to single-point bottlenecks in the ground station. This bottleneck will cause congestion. To avoid this, the core network will reject excessive registration requests with cause of congestion. It's plaintext because excessive and expensive authentication will even worsen congestion. After receiving this, the device stops sending registration requests even if there are another available satellites. Because the congestion occurs in the core network, switching satellites doesn't help. This provides an opportunity for attackers. Instead of deploying dozens of attack nodes to jam or block satellites one by one, a single attacker can block all satellites by indicating network congestion. This will trap victim in the attacker and prevent them from attacking another satellite, thus achieving attack amplification. And the scale and mobility can also be used to launch attack obfuscation. The goal of attack obfuscation is to disguise as fast-changing real satellites to evade detection. In other words, victims cannot extract any distinguishable features in radio channel geometry signaling. The most challenging part is to mimic satellite radio channels. A radio channel describes how radio signal propagate. It can be categorized in multiple ways. A naive approach is to directly mimic the target radio channel as a function of time and the carrier frequency. However, it will repeatedly fluctuate over time under extreme satellite mobility. Predictable satellite orbital motion offers an opportunity. Instead of time frequency, we emulate the satellite channel in the delayed Doppler domain. Delayed Doppler domain describes the radio channel in terms of geometry and Doppler shift between the user equipment and the moving satellite. It's more predictable than other wireless qualities because the satellite regular orbital motions. And the delay and Doppler shifts inherently characterize the geometry between the victim and the moving satellite. More importantly, due to satellite's distant transmission, the victims within attacker's relative small coverage experience similar delays and Doppler shifts. That facilitates set-over's high-fidelity radio channel and geometry forgery for all victims within its coverage. Through this, the attacker can use publicly available firmwares to generate the strongest serving satellite delays and Doppler shifts, and thus the radio channel and geometry. And when there are more satellites in the sky, the serving satellite's radio channel tend to be stabilized, thus simplifying obfuscations. Set-over further forges legitimate satellite signaling, such as plaintext system information block. Each satellite broadcasts system information block to end devices to notify its operator identity, cell identity, service area identity, and satellite firmwares, and so on. To spoof a satellite, set-over eavesdrop this system information block from satellites, forges its own system information block with them, and broadcasts them to victim within its coverage. Based on this, we propose the set-over attack, a control plane cross-layer attack to block direct cell LEO satellite megaconstellations. It has 3 steps. First, within its 10 to 100 times closer distance to victims than satellites, the terrestrial set-over attacker manipulates the cell selection to stealthily hijack victims which seek to access satellites. Second, by exploiting centralized ground station standardized signaling congestion controls, set-over delays the hijacked victim's registration and implicitly blocks all logic service error from LEO megaconstellation. Third, set-over obfuscates its attack will repeat radio channel geometry signaling reconfiguration to disguise itself as fast-changing serving satellites so that victim cannot easily detect attacks for defense or for penalty. For more details, please read your paper. We have worked with the satellite operator and device vendor to validate set-over with real satellites and community devices. We also validate set-over with unresolved community off-the-shelf 3GPP non-terrestrial network protocol stacks, which can emulate various kinds of satellite devices, including COTS, NRNTA, and IoT end-to-end devices. We last conduct what-if emulations on different cities and countries to assess settleover's scalability if adopted by graded terrestrial IoT or 5G operator with massive base stations for ubiquitous blocking. Compared to the jamming attacks, settleover requires only 1% of attacking nodes to block the service in the same area, thus low cost for large-scale attacks. We also proposed defenses to settleover. For short-term fix, we propose to disable congestion control during the initial registration. In this way, only attacker sends congestion signaling. After receiving congestion, the victim detects the attack and switches to another satellite. It's affordable at the initial rollout stage with few active users, and we have partnered with the satellite operator to adopt it. However, it will suffer from congestion when the user gets more. To fundamentally solve this problem, we support long-term defense. The challenge is that the attackers are smart to disguise as fast-changing real satellites will attack obfuscation in radio channel, geometry, and signaling. That's hard to detect. In last slides, we have analyzed NS layer defense and it's hard to scale out when users get more. Another solution proposal on RRC layer is digitally signing or bootstrapping messages to authenticate satellites before registration. This solution enables user equipment to detect fake satellites. However, this solution is not readily available or capable to COTS devices. Moreover, to verify the satellite's digital signature, the victim first needs its public key or certificate. It's not available for initial registration because the victim cannot afford pre-installing all base station and satellite certificates for verification. As acknowledged by previous works, the digital signature can hinder various core IoT or 5G functions such as international roaming and emergency calls, which are killer applications for direct-to-cell satellites. Moreover, that will cause prohibitive overhead. The signature size will even exceed the maximal signal size for IoT devices. So how about the physical layer defense? In physical layer, due to the attack of obfuscation, it's difficult for a single user equipment to detect the difference between the attacker and the satellite. Our insight is the power of user location diversity. Since each device cannot easily detect or block settleover due to the attack obfuscation, we study why the distributed devices can cooperatively counteract settleover. We showcase its flexibility using multi-device time difference of arrival to enhance the cell selection to detect and escape false satellites. For ease of understanding, let's assume one victim is at the edge of attacker range and one is near the attacker. And we also assume the attacker node is at the subpoint of real satellite. In this case, we can get time difference of arrival between two victims from the real satellite. Similarly, we can get time difference of arrival from the attacker. Since the altitude of the satellite h is much greater than the attacker range r, the attacker's time difference of arrival will be significantly larger than the real satellite, which allows victim devices to utilize it to distinguish between the real and the fake satellites. To summarize, in this paper, we found that LEO mega constellations' extreme scale and mobility can be a double-edged sword for its security. Based on these insights, we disclose settleover, which launches the attack of amplification and attack of obfuscation using scale and mobility to block the whole mega constellation. And we proposed short-term and long-term defenses against settleover. And we hope this work can attract more attention to enhance the security of direct-to-cell satellite mega-constellation. Thanks for your listening. I'm happy to answer your questions.